Let's think about love. When have you met enough people to know you're with your best match? I mean, the chances of being the first one, the one, is unlikely, but if acquiring the data costs you that perfect match, it seems like the ultimate catch-22 of the heart. But there is a science to it. Mathematicians call it an optimal stopping problem, and it may actually have an answer. 37%. Maybe. Of course, it all depends on the assumptions you're willing to make about love. In any optimal solution problem, the crucial dilemma is not which option you pick, but how many options you're willing to consider. These problems turn out to have implications not only for lovers, but also for renters and drivers and homeowners, burglars, and beyond. The 37% rule for optimum stopping derives from the optimal stopping's most famous puzzle, which has come to be known as the secretary problem. Imagine you're interviewing a set of applicants for a position as a secretary, and your goal is to maximize the chance of hiring the single best applicant in the pool. Now, assuming you can easily judge which one you prefer, you interview the applicants in random order, one at a time. In this scenario, you can decide to offer the job to any applicant at any point, and they're guaranteed to accept, thus terminating the search. But if you pass over an applicant, deciding not to hire them, they're gone forever, and you could never hire them. In your search for a secretary, there are two ways you can fail: stopping too early and stopping too late. When you stop too early, you leave the best applicants undiscovered, and when you stop too late, you hold out for a better applicant who doesn't exist. So, what is the optimal strategy? The optimal strategy will clearly require finding the right balance between the two, walking the tightrope between looking too much and not enough. Finding the balance. If your aim is to find the best applicant and not settle for anything less, it's clear that as you go through the interview process, you shouldn't even consider hiring anybody who isn't the best you've seen so far. However, simply being the best yet isn't enough for an offer or for making the optimal choice. The very first applicant, for example, will of course be the best yet by definition. More generally, it stands to reason that the rate at which we encounter best yet applicants will go down as we proceed in our interviews. For instance, the second applicant has a 50-50 chance of being the best yet, but the fifth applicant has a 1 in 5 chance of being the best so far, and the sixth a 1 in 6 chance, and so on. So we know that taking the best yet applicant we encounter is rash. If there are hundreds of applicants, it also seems a bit hasty to make an offer to the next one who's the best yet just because she was better than the first. So how can we proceed? Intuitively, there are a few potential strategies. For instance, making an offer to the third time an applicant trumps everyone seen so far, or maybe the fourth time. But as it happens, neither of these relatively sensible strategies comes out on top. Instead, the optimal solution takes the form of what we call the look, then leap rule. In this strategy, you set a predetermined amount of time for looking. That is, exploring your options, gathering data, and during this time, you do not choose anyone, no matter how impressive they are. But after this point of exploration, you enter the leap phase, prepared to instantly commit to anyone who outshines the best applicant you've seen in the look phase. To understand, we could see how the look then leap rule emerges by considering the secretary problem in the smallest applicant pools. With just one applicant in the problem, it's easy to solve. Hire the applicant, there is no other options. With 2 applicants, you have a 50-50 chance of success. It doesn't really matter, you could hire either one. But a third applicant, all of a sudden things get interesting and we could apply the strategy of look then leap. If we hire someone at random, the odds of picking the best applicant are 33%. But we could actually do better. And it comes down to what we do in our second interview. When we see the first applicant, we have no information. She'll always appear to be the best yet. But when we see the third applicant, we have no agency whatsoever. We have to make an offer to the final applicant since we've dismissed all other options. But when we see the second applicant, we have a bit of both worlds. We know whether she's better or worse than the first, and we have the freedom to either hire or dismiss her. So in this case, we just hire the second applicant if she's better than the first applicant, or dismiss her if she's not. This turns out to be the best possible strategy when facing 3 applicants. Using this approach changes your probability of success from 33% to 50%. And as we add more applicants, the scenario will change. Taking a look at other scenarios, we could see how optimal stopping changes as the applicant pool grows. And as the pool grows, the exact place to draw the line between looking and leaping settles at around 37%. And this is where the rule of 37% comes from. So this consists of looking at the first 37% of applicants, choosing none of them and just learning about what a secretary is. And then from there on, you're entering the leap stage, where you could choose anyone who's been better than the past 37% so far. And this is not just a rule for hiring, but a rule for most situations where you have to make any choice, like in love, house buying, renting, car hunting, vacation planning. This optimal stopping point can be applied to many aspects of life and decision making. This video is based on Algorithms to Live By Brian Christian. If you like this video and want to learn more about making optimal decisions, check out the book in the description below.